Hi guys, this is Megan. So last week, I had this petty idea to request money pet peeves from people on Instagram, and I got a lot of responses. I don't know if I'm gonna go through them all, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of do a little gossip sesh and read through these and tell you what I think. And I'm fully anticipating getting crucified by some of these. Like, I just want to make that clear ahead of time. There is no shade here. We all have pet peeves and we all live out other people's pet peeves. That's okay. So I'll tell you if something applies to me. We all spend our money differently, even though, like, for example, I think it's fucking ridiculous when people have these astronomical cell phone bills. I know there are reasons why people do, and you probably wouldn't have spent $55 on makeup the other day like I did. So, oopsie poopsie. We all live different lives. But with that disclaimer, let's air some grievances. It is the Festivus season after all. Okay, I'm gonna just start kind of scrolling through these. I have not read most of these because I wanted to wait until I was recording this. So we're reading most of them at the same time. The first one is truly something that is dear to my heart. Okay. People saying 100K salary isn't a lot, or 1 million for retirement. I guess that isn't a lot either. The averages are way lower. Yes, if you go online and Google what the average person has at retirement, it is so different than what all of these calculators will tell you and what all these like fire accounts will tell you. I don't remember the exact number, but it's less than 500,000 for sure, and I think less than 250,000 even. And I also can't recall if that includes home equity. And in line with that, like the average salary, I think we all know that's under 100K. Like, only a minority of people are making in the six figures. And all of this is in the US. So we're already at the higher end of the scale. So yeah, I really hate this too. Like, how tone deaf can you be? And on a related note, another thing that annoys me is when people act like making six figures is like super easy. And if you're not making that much money, then like your problem isn't your budget. Like, spend what you spend, but you should be asking for more money. Which, like, okay, we're all slaves to our employers in a capitalist system, but the fact that so few people make six figures should tell you that it's really not that simple. And I've talked in other episodes before about why I have no desire to make six figures. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, if I found a job I was qualified for and that's what they offered me, like, that's cool. But I also love my, like, relatively stress-free job right now. Not to say that people who make six figures have, like, hard jobs or intense jobs. You can have easy or difficult jobs in all of the spectrum, I think. But I know that, like, for my skill set, I would probably have to invest in some kind of class or certification or something to get that kind of a pay bump. And I have no desire to do that. Okay, here's one for me. People who pay to listen to music, such as Spotify or Apple Music. Wow. How are you listening for free? That's my question. Is this like on YouTube maybe? I really can't with the ads in music when I'm like listening to an album. Because typically I listen to albums like straight through. No. How are you sitting through all these ads? Love my Spotify. Love Spotify. I do have a student discount because I took classes relatively recently, free through my employer. But anyway, I do get like Spotify and Hulu bundled together for like $6 a month. So, there is that, I'll be honest. But even when that expires, I will have Spotify. Related to that, I see somebody wrote recurring monthly subscriptions. I do, yeah. I try to reduce my monthly subscriptions too. Even though, like I said, I do pay for Spotify and like I pay for a lot of streaming services, my God. But yeah, I am definitely on the side of having like fewer monthly commitments to have more room to play around in like a monthly budget. I also hate when people tell me to sign up for streaming services because it's only like whatever a month. I hear this a lot. I have a lot of streaming services, so I know how they add up. And at this point, it's like, if I'm going to sign up for something new, I'm going to have to swap one out because I can't watch this much TV, even being part-time. But yeah, little expenses add up, even, or especially on a tighter budget, which I'm on right now. So totally agree. Okay, one more thing. I talked about cell phone providers and how I don't understand overpaying for them. I am a Mint Mobile girly. Like, I think many people who are in the personal finance space. Of course, Mint Mobile's not the only one. There are other options too where you prepay. But it bothers me when people say that Mint is $15 a month because it's not. At least it's not for me. It's like they add tax and whatever. Is it just tax? I don't know. Mine comes out to like $17 a month. Which isn't like, I mean, that doesn't sound like a big difference, but that's like $2 extra. So that's $24 over the year. So like, that's like paying more than an extra month if you are allegedly paying $15 a month for Mint Mobile. It's not $15 a month. It's still a really good deal, but like, it's just not quite accurate. That bothers me. Okay, this one's really interesting. Fridge/pantry/desk organizers screams waste and gluttony. Okay, I'm actually not getting destroyed on this because I don't think I do this. I don't have any organizers or anything. I never thought to be angry about it when I do see it in other people's homes. I mean, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it is extra plastic that you're spending money on and eventually depositing into the trash. Actually, I do use drawer organizers in my dresser, but they're cloth. So is that okay? Okay, next one. People who use big banks instead of credit unions or online banks. I don't really get this either. I think this is kind of like the cell phone thing where it's like I think it's just what people are used to. But yeah, big banks, they suck. They really fuck with the planet. And you can often get a pretty good interest rate at credit unions or online banks, as well as I think a lot of those don't do like overdraft charges or minimum balances. At least I know my banks don't. So that's really good, especially if you're someone who doesn't usually keep a lot of money in checking, which I don't. Okay, next one, universal life insurance. Yeah, I feel like I don't see a lot of that. Because when I am reading about people's finances or talking to people about insurance, it's usually people who don't like life insurance or other than term life insurance, which I know some people do find value in. I'm going to be honest, I don't know jack shit about life insurance because nobody relies on me for anything except my cat. So it's not like at the top of my priority list right now. Yeah, I would just tune all of that out. Oh no. When people rave about their HSA because my high deductible plan doesn't allow me to have one. That's really sad. I do think, like, in some ways the HSA is... Oh, well, I love mine, but it's not, like, really that much money every year that you contribute. And not all that much that you're putting into the stock market relative to like what you're probably doing in your 401k and whatever other investing you're doing. But yeah, that's not a pet peeve for me because I love mine. I'm sorry. That's rough. Okay, and then this one is gratitude posts that are kind of just like humble brags. Yeah. I think this is like more Instagram specific or like personal finance community specific because most people wouldn't do this in person. Although I do know some people who would talk about their money in person. And some of them I would even like to hear because there are some people that I do talk about money with. But I can definitely see a few people in my life like bragging about it. Which is cool. Like straight up bragging, I think is more acceptable than humble bragging. That's where it gets annoying is when you're like trying to mask it. Yeah, the next one is high earner financial independence accounts who don't hold space for charitable giving. Um, so this does kind of bother me. Part of me wonders if people are doing some giving out and they're just not talking about it because they don't want to brag about it. I don't think that's helpful. Like, I think they should say that they're doing it because it kind of like inspires other people to do the same. But I kind of wonder if they're just like minimizing it or hiding it, or maybe they're contributing to something that's like a little bit divisive, so they don't want to put that on the internet. Not everyone is like a total oversharer like I am, but I could also just be being like way too generous. Like maybe they truly don't do any charitable giving. I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt. In which case, yeah, I can't really justify that, knowing like some of the salaries that I see on social media, like things that I will never attain. Next, next one, is funny to me. People who brag about how much money their kids have. And I feel like there are two buckets for this, neither of which I find acceptable, but one is like my kid just got a job and like they're making a lot of money and this is how much they're making. And like they're so smart and perfect and I like raised this amazing human being. That's one where like they're putting a value judgment on the character of their child because their child is now a high earner. That's not how it works. And then the other is like when people do those like 529s for their kids and it's like my baby has a 6-figure net worth now or something. And I think that falls into the humble brag category because like that's not really, I mean, it's your baby's money, but like it's your doing. And both of these are like, I guess, good things. Like you want your kids to succeed. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I don't have kids and I don't want to succeed, but I imagine that's what people want for their children. And you want to set them on the right foot, which is probably what I would want to do if I were a parent. Like, I wouldn't want them to have to go into debt for college and that kind of thing. Like, I'd want them to have some money to start out with. But, like, I think part of it's jealousy, at least for me, because, like, nobody did that for me. And I don't think I'm like alone in this. I think most people don't have that kind of safety net that their parents planned for. And on that note, it kind of bothers me like when people do buy their kids like fancy presents and stuff, but they're not like, or like they're, I don't want to say spoiling their kids, but that is what I mean. I don't have kids, so I am well aware that I don't know what the pressures are, and I don't think it's as simple as just like spoiling them. But anyway, that's what it looks like to me when like kids are getting everything. But they're not having like their futures planned for by their family. And it's just like very poor, short-sighted planning for your kids, I think. And it kind of bothers me because it's like, I would much rather have not had whatever I got on different Christmases. I would much rather not have had that and then had like a solid 529 for me to use when I grew up. It would have made my life a lot easier. So like I think they're doing the right things. And I think I just find it annoying because I'm jealous. Okay. The next one is people who don't save or invest, who want to try buying single stocks, crypto, and finance fads. I think I just feel bad for these people, actually. because I assume they're uneducated. Either that or they're just like filled with this like bravado that nothing can go wrong for them. But I think most of it is that they're just like not educated on how likely they are to fail at those things. Everybody loves a get rich quick scheme. Everybody loves it, and I don't think everybody realizes that it like just is totally unrealistic, unfortunately. Because investing in index funds and whatever, like following the conventional wisdom, it takes a long time. It takes like decades. Especially if you're just like a normal everyday investor and you're not a high earner or anything. Like it's very slow, and that sucks, especially if you're like starting to plan later in life for retirement, and you don't necessarily have decades to play with. Yeah, I really feel for those people, and chances are they're going to lose their money in stocks and crypto. Yeah, and obviously, like I've mentioned before, I know I could also lose everything, and so could you. But I think it's a lot less likely for us, and I just feel bad for those people. I think we can all relate to this one. When people complain that they don't have money for XYZ, then waste it on ABC. Like, I think that is like the most fun situation to be a fly on the wall for. When like someone is talking about how they like, I don't know, they have no money, but then they also just bought this brand new car and are financing it with like a high interest rate or something. Or they like want to go out for a fancy dinner or something. At the same time, like I think it's fun also because we all do it. Or at least I do. I have. Like, I remember having no money, but, like, still buying a pack of cigarettes every day, But yeah, it's really fun to watch. I don't even know if it's a pet peeve for me. I just, like, find it really interesting. I love it. Okay, I've actually got a few more of these, but I think I'm going to end it here. This was fun. If I didn't read yours, it's because I either just didn't get to it or I feel like it was covered kind of in some of the other topics, because a lot of these are related, unsurprisingly. But I might do this again, so I'll save them, because I think this was a good time for me anyway. To hear about what pisses you off and what I do that pisses you off. I wish I could say I might do something differently in the future, but I will not. And I would love to hear about any like crazy stories you've got or case studies with people I would hope you'd keep it anonymous, at least if I would know the person. Like if it's someone online, I don't know. Like I don't want to be mean-spirited, but also it's really fun to watch what people do with their finances. So thanks for listening. I'll catch you next time. I might do something holiday themed. I don't know. Maybe I'll do like another request thing on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, here's your call to action. It's bitch.fires. You can add me there and DM me if you have any ideas. Check out any polls I have coming up. I put them in my stories because I think I'll do something like this again. Maybe not next week, but in the near future. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Love you, bye.